The following matchup is being played with HistoryMaker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, do we have a good matchup for you on hand? Possibly, maybe, but we are going to rewind the clock back to 2023 and feature the worst World Series ever? Question mark? But we'll have to wait and see because we will have the 2023 Texas Rangers take on the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks as part of our latest Unlikeliest of Rivals week for Rivalry Week number 2 for the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. Who will come on top of this Unlikeliest of Rivals matchup here? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out because game 1 is coming up just around the corner. But before we get to first pitch, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of World Series Rewind as part of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who has responsible as a treat. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. And we're just about set and ready to go for game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind as we are going to revisit probably one of the worst World Series of all time in the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. With that being said, here is your pitching matchup for Game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind. Nathan Eovaldi will be on the mound for the Rangers. He is finishing up his warm-up tosses as we speak, and he will be opposed by Zach Gallen. Nathan Eovaldi has semi-star, full flash, and semi-control, while Zach Gallen has also semi-star, but he has full flash and full control. With that being said, this game is being played every game in this series is being played with History Maker Baseball Express. And without further delay, Corbin Carroll says he's ready to go, and so is Eovaldi. Let's get Game 1 underway as we relive the worst World Series of all time. 1-2-6. Struggler on Eovaldi. No. Hero on Carroll. He is a hero, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Carroll is active. You can't go higher than a 6, so therefore the bases are loaded, full of snakes, as that'll bring up Ketel Marte off the men on base chart. We have a 44. Wild pitcher allows the walk. No, Nathan Eovaldi is not wild, so therefore that is going to be a flyout. The Snakes threaten but do not score. It's D-backs nothing, and the Rangers are coming to bat in their half of the first inning here for Game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind. Excuse me, 5-6-6. Star pitcher on Gallen. He's a semi-star. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be a no-runs result of a 5 dot, and that is going to do it for the first inning here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. The newer Globe Life Field in Arlington, with the score all even up at a big fat goose egg. One, 3, 4. Let's see here. 1, 3, 4. Ace pitcher on Eovaldi. No. Champ on Tommy Pham. He's not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and that is going to end things here in the top half of the second. It's D-backs nothing, and the Rangers nothing. 1-5-5. Ace on Gallen. No. Hero on Seager. No. That is going to be a no runs result. It'll be a 1 blank to end it here for the first 2 innings here at the ballpark, with your score at a big fat goose egg between the D-backs and the Rangers. Three, 6. Workman on Eovaldi. No. Satsack on Christian Walker. No. That is going to be an RBI question mark chance. And yes, sir, it will be an RBI. So the black die is not a 6, though. The red die is, but the black die is not a 6. So therefore, only 1 RBI is going to come across to score for the D-backs as they lead this episode of World Series Rewind by the score of 1-0 over the Texas Rangers. Two, 4-4. Ace on Gallen. No. 2-4-4. 2-4-4. Here we are. Utility on Lau. He's not a utility, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Gallen has control, so that 4 is going to be reduced to a 3. The Rangers are going to play it safe for right now, putting the runners on at first and second for Josh Young. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart. 13. Fresh relief pitcher gets the pop out. Zach Gallen, we're still in the full freshness innings. And again, I play freshness as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. With that being said, since Zach Gallen is still fresh, he will get the pop out. of Josh Young to end the top half, or excuse me, to end the first 3 innings here at the ballpark with your score: D-backs 1, Rangers nothing. Two, three, four. Pitcher not fresh. We're in the semi-freshest innings now, and Nathan Eovaldi is not fresh. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Alec Thomas, the current batter for the D-backs, is a neutral runner. So therefore, that is going to put him on at second base for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart of a 16. Good eye. No, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. does not have a good eye. So therefore, that is going to be a strikeout. And what a way to bounce back. The Snakes threaten but do not score. It remains 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. One, two, five. Pitcher not fresh. Gallen is still fresh, according to the decider die. Champ on Garcia. He's not a champ. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that'll seal up the deal for the first 4 innings of this one. Your score remains 1-0 in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Two, two, six. Ace on Eovaldi. No. Utility on Gabe Moreno. He 2, 6. Yeah, sorry. Utility on Moreno. He's not a utility, so therefore that is going to be an RBI question mark check. Oh, and the decider die decides not to behave to give the Snakes a chance to blow and bust this game wide open to a 3-0 lead. The black die was a 6, but the decider die did not behave. So with that, the score remains 1-0 in favor of the Diamondbacks as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Two, two, three. Ace on Gallen. No. Utility on Heim. No. That is going to be an RBI question mark check. And yes, sir, the decider die says yes. And it will be a 1 RBI for Jonah Heim as the Rangers do get on the board, breaking the shutout of Zach Gallen. We're all even at 1 after 5 innings of play. One, 4. Struggler on Struggler on Eovaldi. No. Champ on Peterson. No, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank, and that'll do it for the top half of the 6th. We're all even at 1. We do see some action out in both bullpens for the D-backs and the Rangers, as one of these 2 teams are willing not to blink first. But again, in this day and age of the game of baseball, the first team to blink normally would lose. Is that the case for one of these 2 teams? We're going to find out as we head to the bottom half of the 6th, all even at 1 apiece. We have a 4-6-6. Workman on Gallen. No. Hero on Jankowski. No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Jankowski does not have home run king or slugger qualities credited to his name, so therefore it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and we go to the 7th inning all squared up at 1 between the D-backs and the Rangers. 1-1-6. Struggler on Eovaldi. No. Utility on Perdomo. No. That is going to be an RBI question mark check. The decider die says no. We head to the stretch, all even at 1. And folks, the first team to blink is definitely going to lose this one. Is that going to be the case? Let's head to the bottom half of the 7th with your score all even at 1 between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. One, 3, 6. Ace pitcher on Gallen. No. Hero on Leody Taveras. No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. However, the black die is not a 6. Leody Taveras has semi-slugger. So therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 6 dot. That'll do it for the first 7 innings here at the ballpark with your score all even at 1 between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're way past the freshness innings, so therefore it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Corbin Carroll is an active runner. That 5 will be increased to a 6. The bases are loaded for Ketel Marte. And folks, the Rangers manager is popping out of that dugout. He is not taking any chances to go to the men on base chart with the bases loaded. He is going to go to his pen. We are going to find out who the new pitcher that the Texas Rangers manager is going to bring in. But and while the new pitcher takes up his warm-up tosses, we will gladly and happy take this really quick timeout. And we are back here at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, the new and improved Globe Life Field for Game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind, as we do see Brock Burke making his way out from the bullpen to the mound. He has the semi-workman, full flash, and double control qualities. But for this at-bat against Ketel Marte, this is going to be interesting. I think Brock Burke is going to have the full extent use of getting the double flash quality. With that being said, Brock is ready to go, and so are we. We roll back out on the main chart for Ketel Marte's at bat. If we get a men on base result, all runners on base will score. 1, 2, 5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Brock Burke is the bullpen arm, so therefore he is still fresh for the remainder of the contest. Champ on Marte. No, that is going to be a no runs result, so therefore it will be considered an out for Ketel Marte, and that will do it for the top half of the 8th. Good job by the Rangers manager to bring in his bullpen arm to be like, nah, we're not doing this. But Brock Burke did his job either way, saved Eovaldi's hide. We are all dead even at 1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th with a 1-1 tie here in Game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind. Two, 4, 6. Star on Gallen. He's a semi-star. The decider die says no. Champ on Semien. No. That is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. Marcus Semien has slugger. There she goes into the deep Arlington, Texas night. Marcus Semien hits a go-ahead home run solo shot to give the Rangers a 2-1 lead. We head to the ninth inning. Last call for the Snakes here in Game 1 of this episode of World Series Rewind. Here with the score, Rangers 2, D-backs 1. We have a 2-4-6. Star on Burke. No. Champ on Pham. No. That is going to be an RBI question mark check. And unfortunately, folks, the decider die says no. So therefore, that is going to be the ball game. Your final score is going to be Rangers 2, D-backs 1, and it will be a no-runs result of a 4 blank to seal up Game 1 in the hand and to go to the hands of the Texas Rangers. After we see the first game summary of this episode, we are going to be heading out to Arizona for Game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind. And once again, it's Rangers taking a 1-0 lead here in this episode of World Series Rewind. And again, they lead it. And again, they win Game 1 by the final score of 2-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. From the deserts in Arizona, we have Game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Your probable starters for Game 2 are as follows. Merrill Kelly will be on the mound for Arizona, and Jordan Montgomery will be on the mound for the Rangers. The Rangers won last game by a score of 2-1. Can they keep up the momentum here in Game 2? Well, let's find out right now as Kelly says he's ready to go, and so is Seager. Let's get rolling for Game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind. We'll get things going with a 3-5-6. And it reads, Workman on Merrill Kelly. No. Champion on Seager. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says he is not. Therefore, it's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is not a 6, but Corey Seager does have semi-home run king. The decider die was used to check if Corey Seager was a champion or not. Does Corey Seager have home run king? He does not. So therefore, that is going to end up being a no-runs result of a 6 blank. And my goodness, folks, that could have been much, much worse to begin this ball game with a leadoff home by giving up a leadoff home run. But Merrill Kelly stuck through as he held the Rangers scoreless here in the top half of the first. And it's now the Snakes' turn to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher on Montgomery. No. Champ on Walker. No. That is going to be a no-runs result of a 4 blank, and that'll do it for the the first inning of play here at the ballpark in Arizona with your score at a big fat goose egg after 1 inning of play. Two-two-five. Ace pitcher on on Kelly. No. Hero batter on Nathaniel Lowe. He is not a hero batter. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2-0, and that'll do it for the top half of the second here at the ballpark in Arizona, with your score still at a big fat goose egg between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. 224. Ace pitcher on Montgomery. No. Utility on Alec Thomas. He is a semi-utility. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot, and that'll do it for the first 2 innings here at the stadium at Chase Field in Arizona, with your score: Texas Rangers nothing and the Arizona Diamondbacks nothing. 115. Struggler on Kelly. No. Utility on Josh Young. No way. That is going to be a no run. 115. Sorry, men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Merrill Kelly has flash. That 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for El Bombi Adolis Garcia. He'll take his hacks off the men on base chart with a 34. Slugger hits double. Adolis Garcia is a slugger, so therefore the Rangers are going to strike first. Once more, the runner on third scores, and the runner on first goes to third. It's second and third for Jonah Heim off the men on base chart. A 16. Good eye. No, Jonah Heim does not have a good eye. So therefore, that is going to be a strikeout to end the top half of the third, but not before damage was done just a little bit, as the Texas Rangers grab a hold of a 1-0 lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks here for Game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind. 126. Struggler on Montgomery. No. Hero on Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's not a hero. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has slugger. However, the black die, in this case, the white number, is not a 6. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank. And that will seal up the deal for the first 3 innings here at Chase Field. Your score is Rangers 1 and the D-backs nothing. We have a 2-3-4. Pitcher not fresh. We're in the semi-freshest innings now, as I play at 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. Everyone is on a neutral playing field for this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And we have the decider die showing, yes, Kelly is still fresh. And again, I go by dot, is he still fresh? Blank, he's not. So with that being said, we ask, is Travis Jankowski a sad sack batter? He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. Merrill Kelly has semi-control. The decider die says he most certainly does. So that therefore, that 3 will be reduced to a 2, putting the runner on at second base for Leody Taveras to hit off the men on base chart. 56. Patient draws the walk. Unfortunately, Leody Taveras is not a patient batter, so therefore, it'll be a contact result, and I roll the red die for my contact chart results. It's a 5. Champion on Taveras. He's not, so therefore, that is going to be a pop-out to end the top half of the fourth here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, with your score, Rangers 1, D-backs nothing. 156. Ace on Montgomery. No. Sad sack on Gabe Moreno. He is not. Therefore, it's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Montgomery has flash. Therefore, that one is going to be reduced to a big fat goose egg. It'll be a no runs result of a 5 dots, and that'll seal up the deal for the first 4 innings of play. And after 4 innings of play here in Game 2 for this episode of World Series Rewind, your score is Texas Rangers 1 and the Arizona Diamondbacks 0. We'll start the top half of the 5th with a 2-5-6. Workman on Kelly, no. Sad sack on Ezekiel Duran, he's not. That is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Merrill Kelly does have flash, so that 2 will be reduced to a 1, putting Duran on its first base for Marcus Semien. We have a 55. Batting team to sign it or pitching team harmony? Well, again, everyone is on a neutral playing field, so therefore it's going to be a single, advancing the runner on first to third, as Semien will get on it first for Corey Seager. 36. Active batter gets runners advance 2 bases single plus a stolen base. Corey Seager is a semi-stoic runner, so therefore I play it by the running quality. So therefore, it'll be a contact result. And I'm busting out the red die once more. It's a 5. Champ on Seager. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says yes, he is. Corey Seager is going to bring home yet another run. Should have brought one in the first inning, but Merrill Kelly, Corey Seager tells Merrill Kelly, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. The Rangers lead 2-0 after 4.5 innings of play. And we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning by that score of 2-0 in favor of the Texas Rangers. 1-3-3. Ace on Montgomery. No. Sad sack on Peterson. 1-3-3. Yes. Sad sack on Peterson. He is a semi-sad sack. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to end up being a no runs result of a 3 dots, and that will seal up the deal for the first 5 innings of this one. Your score after 5 innings is Rangers 2, D-backs 0. Merrill Kelly back out there for the 6th with a 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. We're still in the semi-freshest innings. The decider die says he is still fresh. Hero batter on Nathaniel Lowe. He is not a hero batter, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is not a 6. Nathaniel Lowe has semi-slugger. The black die is not a 6, though, so therefore it's going to be a no runs result of a 4 dot to end it here in the top half of the 6th, and that is probably the last inning for Merrill Kelly. That is a perfect, and I mean perfect bounce back inning. But we do see his manager kind of going over to him and say, hey, do you want to go another inning or so? And he says, nah, I think I'm good. Good, boss. So with that being said, he shakes his hand and confirming, yes, he did shake the hand of his starter. The D-backs manager shook the hand of his starter. So the Arizona Diamondbacks will go to their pen when we head to the 7th inning. But before we get there, let's play the bottom half of the 6th with the score, Rangers 2, D-backs 0. We have a 2-6-6. Star pitcher on Montgomery. He is a star, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dots, and that is going to seal up the deal for the first 6 innings of this one. your score remains 2-0 as we head to the 7th inning here at Chase Field. And we do see the bullpen gate swing wide open down the left field line. Let's see who the new pitcher is trotting in from the pen. And while he takes up his warm-up tosses, we will take a really quick timeout. And it seems Tyler Gilbert will be the new pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, as he has full workman, full flash, and full control for this at bat against Josh Young. Tyler Gilbert will have the full extent use of the semi-star quality. With that being said, try to keep the score here is the job of Tyler Gilbert, as he will face off against Josh Young as we resume action here with a score of Rangers 2, D-backs nothing. 1-2-6. Struggler or gilded on Gilbert? No. Hero on Young? He is a semi-hero. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, it's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Josh Young does have home run king, though. Does he get the home run? He does not. Tyler Gilbert does his job, keeping the score right here. We head to the stretch as we see Jordan Montgomery trot his way out to the mound. And while we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, the fine patrons here at Chase Field will sing a rendition of God Bless America along with Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And we head to the stretch with the score, Texas Rangers 2 and the Arizona Diamondbacks nothing. And the fine folks here at Chase Field is singing a good, beautiful chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game as ever, along with a beautiful rendition of God Bless America here for this episode of World Series Rewind, as Jordan Montgomery is back out there on the mound, and he will face off against Corbin Carroll to lead off the bottom half of the 7th inning. 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, since we're past the semi-freshest innings, though, but there is a rule. If the pitcher has not allowed a run through the freshest innings that he has been allotted to, in this case, 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh, Jordan Montgomery will maintain the freshness quality, the semi-freshness quality. So therefore, wow. The decider die says he is not fresh. So therefore, Corbin Carroll is going to get on base, as with a men on base result with a base running adjustment, you can't go higher than a 6. So the bases are loaded, full of snakes. This is Arizona's chance to get something huge on the board. The Rangers manager is going to keep Montgomery in this ball game. Man, I don't know what that's going to work out. Let's see. 14. Scrapper hits single. Marte is not a scrapper. That is going to be a bases clearing double. Unbelievable. The Arizona Diamondbacks are back from the dead as they now take a 3-2 lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks, over the Texas Rangers, and that is going to bring out Tommy Pham. That bullpen down the right field line is going to get to work here. Yeesh, this is going to be huge, folks. That manager for the Rangers wanted to make sure Montgomery got out of the innings really good, but it is what it is. We resume on the men on base chart with a 3-2 lead for the Arizona Diamondbacks for Tommy Pham. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Adolis Garcia is not iron, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to end the the first 7 innings Here for game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind, the Diamondbacks come back from the dead to lead it with a bases clearing double by Tommy Pham, by Ketel Marte, as they now lead the Texas Rangers by 1 run. It's still anybody's game, though, 3-2 in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 256. 256. Here we are. Workman on Gilbert. He is a workman, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Jonah Heim is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore that 5 will be reduced to a 4, and that is going to bring up Travis Jankowski off the men on base chart. We have a 26. Home run king, it's home run. Unfortunately, Travis Jankowski is not a home run king, so therefore it will be a contact result. Will this be the game tying run? 3. Stat Sacker utility. No, and it will be the game tying run, as Travis Jankowski will bring home a run thanks to an RBI. We're all even up at 3 here in the after 7.5 innings complete here for game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind, with your score: Rangers 3, D-backs 3. $114 on Walker. Struggler on Montgomery. He is not. Champ on Walker. He's not. That is going to be a no. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes, champion on Walker. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of 1 blank. And that is going to seal up the deal. And the manager for the Texas Rangers has shaken the hand of his starting pitcher, Montgomery. He did a fantastic job despite giving up the 3 runs in the last half inning. A good bounce back inning. Now the Rangers, now it's the Rangers' turn to hopefully grab the lead to bring on their closer for this game, for game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind. We head to the 9th inning with the score all dead even at 3 between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. $235. Star pitcher on Gilbert. He's not. Sad sack on Tavares. He is not. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Gilbert has flash. That 3 will be reduced to a 2. The go-ahead run is on at second base for Ezekiel Duran off the men on base chart. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Alec Thomas is not an iron fielder, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to end the top half of the 9th. The Rangers threaten but do not score. It's all on the D-backs now. Can they win it, or will the Rangers force extra innings? The Rangers are going to bring on their closer, and we will know who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems Will Smith will be on the mound for the Texas Rangers. Can he send this game to extra innings, or will Lourdes Gurriel Jr. end it with a huge hit for the Diamondbacks to even up this World Series Rewind matchup at a game apiece? With that being said, Will Smith has the semi-workman, full flash, and full control qualities for this at-bat against Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Will Smith will be getting the semi-star quality. With that being said, let's play the bottom of the 9th. Will the D-backs win it, or will the Rangers force extra innings? We have the score of 3-3 between the Rangers and the D-backs as we resume play here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Oh my God, triple fours. This is going to be an umpire check. So let's see what's the call, Blue. We'll roll the blue die. 1, respected a first base umpire. Oh, it seems we don't. So therefore, it's going to be a no runs result. Man, oh man. It will be a no runs result. It will keep the main uh, uh, 4 result and the decider die result. And we are going to go to over and we're going to go to extra innings here in game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind with your score all even at 3 apiece, thanks to Travis Jankowski, who tied it in the top half of the 8th inning. Four, 5, 6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, both Gilbert and Smith are the bullpen hero arms. So therefore, everyone is remaining fresh for the remainder of the contest. Champ on Semien. He is not a champ. No, he's not. So therefore, no runs with a possibility of a solo home run. Marcus Semien is not a Marcus Semien is a slugger, but however, the black die is not a 6. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and that'll take us to the bottom half of the 10th for Gabriel Moreno to hopefully give the Diamondbacks a chance to walk things off. 4, 4, 6. Star on Smith. No. Hero on Moreno. He is a hero, so therefore that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Moreno is a neutral runner. The winning run is on at third base. It's runners at the corners for Jace Peterson off the men on base chart. 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Corey Seager is not gold. That is how game 2 is going to end. 1 run comes across the score. We'll count that as an earned run. And folks, the final score in 10 innings, Corey Seager, thanks to an error, the Diamondbacks will walk things off thanks to Jace Peterson. Unbelievable. Your final score here for game 2 of this episode of World Series Rewind is Arizona 4 and the Texas Rangers 3. And we're just about set and ready to go for game number 3 of this episode of World Series Rewind, featuring the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks and the 2023 Texas Rangers. Both teams have won 1 game each, and it's winner take all here for game 3 of this episode of World Series Rewind. Your starting pitching matchup for game 3 will be as follows. Max Scherzer will be on the mound for the Rangers, and Brandon Pfaadt will be on the mound for the Diamondbacks. With that being said, both teams have won a game in this series, and the winner of this game will win not only the episode, but if the Rangers win, they retain the World Series crown. But for Arizona, should they win, possibly, it could be historic. Their second world title would have happened in 2023. With that being said, let's get this game 3 underway and find out, will it be the Rangers or will it be the Diamondbacks to maintain or regain the crown? We'll begin game 3 with a 2-4-6. Star pitching on Scherzer. Yeah, semi-star decided. Yes, Scherzer has semi-star. The decider die says he does not, though. 2 4. So we are champion on Geraldo Perdomo. He's not. Therefore, it's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Geraldo Perdomo does not have home run king or slugger, so therefore it will be a no runs result of a 6. And the decider die was used to check if Scherzer had star or not, and it will remain 6 blank. It will and it will be D-backs nothing, and the Rangers are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. One, 3, 5. Ace pitcher on Fott. He's not an ace. Champion on Nathaniel Lowe. He's not a champion. Therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that will do it for the top or for this first inning of play here at the new Globe Life Field in Arlington. Your score after 1 inning of play is a big fat goose egg. One, 3, 6. Base pitcher on Scherzer. He's not. Hero batter on Corbin Carroll. He is a hero, so therefore that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Corbin Carroll is an active runner, so that 3 will be increased to a 4, putting the runners at the corners for Ketel Marte off the men on base chart. Oh man, we have a 15. Scrapper hits double. Ketel Marte is not a scrapper, so therefore that is going to be hit high, far, and gone as the Arizona Diamondbacks will lead it 3-0 at the end of an inning and a half here at the new Globe Life Field in Arlington with your score D-backs 3, Rangers nothing as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. For 244, that will read ace pitcher on Fott. He's not. Utility on Josh Young. He's not a utility batter. Therefore, it'll be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. Brandon Fott has control, so that 4 will be reduced to a 3. They're going to place the runners on first and second for El Bombi Adolis Garcia. 13. Fresh relief pitcher gets the pop out. Brandon Fott is a fresh pitcher. And again, I play freshness as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. With that being said, Brandon Fott is still fresh. Therefore, he will get the pop out on Adolis Garcia to end the first 2 innings here at the ballpark with your score D-backs 3, Rangers nothing. 145. Let's here we are. Acer dynamic on Scherzer. He's not. Satsek on Tommy Pham. He's not. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Max Scherzer has flash. So therefore, that 5 will be reduced to a 4. Put in the runners at the corners for Christian Walker. 16, good eye. Unfortunately, Christian Walker does not have a good eye, so therefore it will be a strikeout for Mad Max. And after 2.5 innings of play, your score remains D-backs 3, Rangers nothing. 133. Ace pitcher on Fott. No. Sadsack on Jonah Heim. He's not. That is going to be an RBI question mark check. And unfortunately, the decider die says no RBI. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that will do it for the first 3 innings of this ball game. The score remains D-backs 3, Rangers nothing as we head to the 4th inning of game 3. 235. Star on Scherzer. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he is not. Unbelievable. 2, 3, 5. Here we are. Stat sack on Alec Thomas. He's not a sad sack. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Max Scherzer does have flash. So therefore, that 2 will be reduced to a 1, putting Thomas on at first base for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to bat off the men on base chart. We got a 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Evan Carter is a neutral fielder, so therefore that is going to be an error on Evan Carter. So they will advance the runners 90 feet, safe at first on a error on Evan Carter. We continue to roll off the men on base chart with a 33. Scrapper hits single. It's on Longoria now. And Longoria is not a scrapper. So therefore, oh my God, that is going to be a triple. So therefore, 2 runs are going to come across to score. And folks, Max Scherzer is in a heap of trouble as Evan Longoria clears the bases for a triple, and the D-backs lead it 5-0 over the Texas Rangers. With that being said, we continue to roll on here on the men on base chart with a 34. Slugger hits double. Gabe Moreno does not have slugger, so therefore that is going to be a single. Another run come across to score. And that is going to do it for the D-backs here in the 4th inning. They pile on. It's now D-backs 6, Rangers nothing. 116. 116. Here we are. Struggler on Fott. He's a semi-struggler. The decider die says he is not. Utility on Tavares. He is not a utility. Therefore, it'll be an RBI? Question mark, Jack. Did Tavares get the RBI? He did not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that will do it for the first 4 innings here at the ballpark with your score, D-backs 6, Rangers nothing. And we do see a new pitcher coming out of the pen for the Texas Rangers. We'll find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. Max Scherzer will go a full 4 innings in this game, cannot make it through 5. So Jose Leclerc will replace him here to begin the top half of the 5th. He has the semi-ace and flash qualities, but for this at-bat against Geraldo Perdomo, Jose Leclerc will have the full extent use of the ace quality. With that being said, the score remains D-backs 6, Rangers nothing, as we enter the top half of the 5th inning. 4-5-5. 4-5-5. Here we are. Workman pitcher on Leclerc. He's not. Utility on Perdomo. He's not. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die. It's flash or control. Leclerc does have flash, so therefore that 4 will be reduced to a 3. They're going to place the runners on at first and second for Corbin Carroll. And Carroll will bat off the men on base chart with a 13. Fresh relief pitcher gets the pop out. Jose Leclerc is the relief pitcher, so therefore he will get the pop out to strand the runners on at first and second. The D-backs threaten but do not score in their half of the 5th. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The D-backs still lead it 6-0. 1-3-5. Ace pitcher on Fott. He's not an ace. Champ on Ezekiel Duran. He's not a champ. Therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 5 blank, and that will do it for the first 5 innings of this ball game. The D-backs still hang on by a 6-0 lead. There's still time left, but can the Rangers find that time to dig down deep to score a lot of runs, maybe in one inning, but who knows? We'll find out sooner rather than later as we head to the sixth inning. The score is D-backs 6, Rangers nothing. 116. Struggler on Leclerc. Get out of here. No way. Utility on Ketel Marte. No way. That is going to be an RBI question mark check. And thank God the Rangers can thank their lucky stars. The decider die says blank. And that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that is going to do it for the top half of the sixth inning. We go to the bottom half of the sixth. The score is remaining 6-0 in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 246. Star pitching on Fott. He's not. Champion on Semien. He is not. That is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. The black die, in this case the white number, is not a 6. Marcus Semien has slugger, and again, the black die is not a 6. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and that is going to do it as Brandon Pfaadt is through 6 innings of scoreless baseball. Time is quickly running out for the Texas Rangers to hopefully retain their crown from 2023 in this World Series rewind matchup between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. With the score, as we head to the 7th inning, it's D-backs 6, Rangers nothing. 144. Struggler on Leclerc. He's not a struggler. 144. Here we are. Sat sack on Pham. He's not a sat sack. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Leclerc does not have control. That will put the runner on at first base no matter what. For Christian Walker to bat off the men on base chart. 22. Batting at home. No, the D-backs are the visitors for game 3, so therefore it will be a flyout to end the top half of the 7th. We go to the stretch. The score is D-backs 6, Rangers nothing. And we do see Brandon Pfaadt trot out of that dugout to preserve a scoreless outing here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 244. 244. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Pfaadt. No. Utility on Corey Seager. Get out of here. No way. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Brandon Pfaadt has control. Go big or go home. They're going to place the runner on at third base. So that'll bring up Nathaniel Lowe off the men on base chart. This could be huge. That D-backs pen is going. 34. Slugger hits double. Nathaniel Lowe is a semi-slugger, but the decider die says he is not. But it doesn't really matter. The Rangers are going to get on the board thanks to an RBI single from Nathaniel Lowe, and that breaks the shutout of Brandon Pfaadt as he will leave with 7 innings, allowing just 1 run, as we do see him, as we do see the D-backs manager shake the hand of his starter on a job well done. We go to the 8th. Time is running out for the Rangers. It's D-backs 6, Rangers 1. 335. Struggler on Leclerc. He's not a struggler. Champ on Thomas. Excuse me. He is not. That is oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Champ on Thomas. No. That'll be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and that'll do it for the top half of the 8th. We go to the bottom half of the 8th, but before we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen. for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And the Diamondbacks manager has pulled a rabbit out of his hat as he will bring out Kevin Ginkel from the bullpen to preserve this 5-run lead for the Arizona Diamondbacks to win this episode of World Series Rewind. Kevin Ginkel has the semi-ace, full flash, and semi-control qualities for this at-bat against Josh Young. Kevin Ginkel will have the full extent use of the ace quality. With that being said, the score remains D-backs 6, Rangers 1 as we resume play here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-5. Ace on Ginkel. Remember, we gave him the full extent use of the ace quality, so therefore, he is an ace. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 8 innings. We go to the 9th inning. The score is D-backs 6, Rangers 1. 1-5-6. Ace pitcher on Leclerc. He's a semi-ace. The decider die says he is not. Unbelievable. 1-5-6. Here we are. Satsack on Gurriel. He's not a Satsack. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Jose Leclerc has flash. And folks, that'll be a no runs result of a 6. Let me see here. Blank. Decider die was not used. Ace. Yes, it was. I'm sorry. Jose Leclerc was the semi-ace. So, and indeed he wasn't. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of course, of a 6 blank, and that is going to take us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last call for the Texas Rangers, 5 to tie and 6 to win it. Here in the bottom of the 9th, for Game 3 of this episode of World Series Rewind, it's D-backs 6, Rangers 1. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, Ginkel is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh. Champ on Adolis Garcia. He is not a champion, and that will do it, folks. It'll be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that will seal up the deal. The Diamondbacks will win Game 3 of this episode of World Series Rewind. No extra innings here as the Diamondbacks will win Game 3 and the World Series Rewind episode by the final score of 6-1, and they take the series 2 games to 1. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of World Series Rewind as we featured the 2023 Fall Classic between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, it seems we ran out of time for today, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And oh my word, are we going to have a little treat for you on hand as we are going to have the battle of the worst on the latest edition of Cross Era Showdown as the 1962 Mets will take on the 2024 Chicago White Sox in an AL versus NL battle of the worst record from the NL and the worst record from the National League prior to the 2025 season. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to figure out for yourself next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, cross-era showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.